Yep, YouTube chat's popped out. Let me double check. I don't have any other work meetings today. Correct. Tomorrow's a pretty light day. Nice. Cool. Alrighty, just wanted to double check that. Okay, so we're live up on the YouTube. So for everyone on YouTube, oh, I don't have my chat here set right. Let me fix that. The thing that we're doing today, let me read through it. So we finished up our slides and the talk went great. Last night was fun, really good event. Got some good feedback, stuff I could do better about the talk. Basically, there was some stuff about like how I didn't describe the WebSockets well enough, and even though I didn't take it as good feedback in the moment, they did mention that my shader in the background was a little distracting. I can see that. I think it's valid feedback. So for the conference, I'll probably get rid of it and just do a proper thing. You know, it's not a long enough talk where you need to make it like as funny as if like it was a longer talk where you need to like space things out to keep people invested. But then today, we're going to go back into the compound keyword stuff. And we have an icon for it. We just need to get that icon into this input field over here on the right. So then we can get rid of the match whole word part, and the description can just go into, you know, like a tooltip. Don't make the same joke. Wait, what? What am I missing? I don't remember the compound keyword joke. I think it's fine. Go for it. Let your evil little heart soul soar. You sure? All right. Yeah, I don't even remember it. So it couldn't have been that bad, but it also means it probably wasn't that good. I guess we'll never know. But it also means it wasn't that bad, so yeah, up to you. No skin off my back. But how you doing today, Lithium? What you up to? So yeah, let's start doing this part. How's the AC situation? Oh, it is so reasonable in Washington right now. I mean, I don't have AC, but weather, Redmond, it's 71 out, which means in this room we're at 25.8. So, you know, this room's still a little warm, but a whole 10 degrees cooler than it was on Tuesday, which is just massive. Yeah. Yesterday was all right, too. But yeah, the last day that I streamed on this channel, it was miserable. Yeah. It wasn't quite 98. It was only 93 or something like that, or 94. But yeah, that difference is huge. Like, I'm wearing a hoodie today. So it can't be that hot. Was it 98 when we calculated? I don't think it got to above 94. It was like 93.8. I mean, I could be forgetting. It felt hot from where you were watching. You were in AC and I was making you sweat. No, it was definitely a hot day. Yeah, I could have sworn I don't remember getting it above 94. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 94. It could affect my memory, but one of the things that I really remember sticking out was it was the closest the internal temperature of this room has ever been with the external temperature. Normally, this room's a good 5 degrees hotter, as evidenced by 79 versus, they say 71 outside, but I bet it's closer to 73. I feel like it's closer to 73 right now, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, the fact that our temperature inside and outside got so close, like that's the first time that's ever happened. Like I leave my windows open during the winter. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, enjoy your deployment. Looks like tomorrow is going to be very nice and chilly. That looks amazing. Next week looks fine. The 22nd gets a little warmer again, but I don't know. It's not so bad. 22nd and 23rd could be better. Ooh, this Sunday could be good for golfing. But yeah, let's get back to some work stuff. All right, so this is whole word. Ah, okay. And yeah, I don't think we actually need the description, right? Like keywords pretty self-explanatory. Whatever you say, Arthur. No, I think in general what they're going to be able to do is just remove a bunch of stuff under the hood. Right? So they'll be able to do the selector, but it'll just use, query selector under the hood instead of sizzle or whatever it is, which I think is how they were doing their selector before. Yeah, my theory is that they're just going to be gutting a bunch of the stuff that they don't need for cross compatibility anymore. Unless you've seen other stuff. Like, I haven't looked at any of it, so I don't know. Is that something Theo's talking about right now? Makes you want to do jQuery. Sure, go for it. Yeah, my guess is they still won't, like, break plugin compatibility, because that would be a major step in the wrong direction. But the fact that it is a major version change means that something's disappearing, because it has to be a breaking change at that point. Or maybe they're just not doing Sember right. That's possible too. Oh, let me check another thing. Hold on, I gotta pass another bit of feedback. Sorry, work thing. Okay, sorry, just work stuff. Okay, so all right. So back to what we're doing here. Sorry, just work. Job need doing. Okay. So the is whole word thing. All right, all right. So we can keep going with this. What I do want to do though. Okay, sorry. Just work. But yeah. So this part. Um, Shad CN doesn't, or maybe it's not Shad CN even, but neo brutalism doesn't seem to do the like compound input thing where you could have a button like toggle on the side. It's like a password input or something. It's just input. Oh, so wait, they do. Oh, it's just input type file. Damn. Oh, with button. Yeah. I mean, we can do it that way. It's just a little weird. Hmm. I don't want to do it with a switch. There isn't like a toggleable button. Oh, this song's good. I just love this part. So hold on, maybe it's just a checkbox. Hmm. Yeah. All right. So let's just try this. And what's up, Castadev? How you doing? You haven't been to a stream in a while. Yeah, I've been streaming. Where you been, dude? I should be able to just do this as like its own thing. All right. So then if I do, let's just do a div. And what was the name of the icon? It was whole word. No, no, and yeah, no, that's fine. You only do it in the attic when you have an external monitor. Hold up. But with this heat, it's unbearable in the attic. You're considering a portable AC unit. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So let's at least see this in the UI. That's not good. Interesting. All right, and then we probably want this to be like an 8. At least double it in size. Oh, that's annoying. Hmm. Let me get more music going. Here we go. I hate how the checkbox. Why isn't it styled? It might be on an older version of it. Oh, sorry. All right. Border black. All right. So then if we do BG white. Um, I don't think border one is actually a thing. All right. So border black. Okay. So then whether it's checked or not, could be like that. Uh, All right. So yeah, what's everyone up to? Do anything fun today? All right. So with the match whole word thing there, I think I just want to grab this tooltip and put it around all of this. That kind of works. Have I had any ghost experiences? No, I never used Ghost. It does seem like a cool blogging platform, though. Hold on, we have an unban request. I should look at it real quick. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's probably going to be an automatic yes. Yeah. They'll totally get unbanned. It's just yeah, no, they're totally welcome back. I was even like hoping that they would have sent the message on Tuesday. They would have been welcomed back at that point too. You've had some ghost encounters? Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything I would attribute to ghosts. I'm not saying I believe. I'm not saying I don't believe either. I'm agnostic. You know, if evidence presents itself, I'll evaluate it, but I've never seen anything that made me think that. There's been some things that if you were really superstitious, you could attribute to it, like glassware falling off of something in a kitchen. But that's also due to the fact that the device they were sitting on top of vibrated, and it just eventually worked itself off. I think for most of that stuff, there's probably some logical explanation. Not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I haven't seen compelling evidence without an actual reasonable explanation. Hold on, hold on. Another thing to reply. You worked at a haunted golf course in college. Coworkers were very quick to blame ghosts rather than negligence, probably. I I don't know who got me drunk. Must have been the ghosts. I'm not sure how that whiskey made it into my coffee. Probably the ghosts. Right? Probably them silly ghosts. So here's one more thought I have. I want to see these two side by side. We're technically on top of each other. Wait, is there actually a learn more? That is not what I'm looking for. Oh, and hold on. More coworker stuff. Let me. Yep, yep. Work, work, work. Sorry. They pay me for a reason, I guess. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Sorry, sorry, sorry. And actually, I'd be curious what you all think about this too. So I'm gonna share it. Get crackin' Reddit. Um, oh. So yeah, if you guys could, it would be great. Um, and then we'll just pin this. Sure. Sure. I think that works. Up to y'all if you want to do it or not, but you'd help us out. All right, so the thing I'm doing on this page, I want to try out a different layout where maybe the AB and one of these switches sits underneath it. We're going to hide that for the moment. Let's get the switch part pulled out. And then instead of flex row, this is flex call. And then could we make the switch small? How do we do that part? Oh, interesting. It doesn't look like there's a way to make it smaller. So we're going to fiddle with that a little bit. And then this is just switch mini. Oh. But I forgot to export it. It's kind of promising. But okay. Yeah, I like that so far. Um, this ends up needing. Oh, we have item center. Hmm. So it ends up having a bunch of space on top. Hmm. That's the wrong place. Uh, hmm. Right, but translate doesn't actually change where the thing after it goes. So we'd have to translate the switch too. We could probably just do that at this point. I don't know. So how do we feel about it? Right, we got the checkbox, or we got the switch. There's another way we could do it where it's just a button inside of the field, and then it's highlighted if selected, kind of like grayed out if not. I could see that being a good option. Let's do a third. Let's do a third one anyway. Why not? All right, so then we got the third one here. And instead of switch mini, this is ending up just being a input type checkbox. All right, and then since the checkbox is hidden, it's not tabbable. Yeah, so the checkbox. Right, like it needs to be tabbable. At which point, I think it technically is. We could make it a button. Well, I don't necessarily like the button idea. But if we made it a button, like technically it's already a button. Oh. And we do want to do it as a custom button because they're going to make it a button that's going to try and submit the form. Right, so then that gets really weird. If we do a button there, you can do a variant of no shadow. Size icon. So the button has the H1 or H10, and I think we want H8. Okay. Oh, missing that. Maybe opacity 50. Hmm. So it's not toggling. It should be, though. Why is that not doing anything? Yeah, that's not doing anything. We are seeing on click. Oh. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, so it's not triggering a re-render when we do that. Okay. How do we feel about it so far? Like, which one of these do we think looks the best? I feel like this one looks the best, but this one's probably more accessible. Let's use QuickTime to record that. Um, which one? It's weird seeing I've been live for an hour and a half. It's only 4:17. MTD time zone has thrown you off. Gotcha. Yeah, because you used to be East Coast, right? All right, so what I want to do is we're going to post it to buffer. Ah, you're visiting a friend in Denver. Running some 100-mile event? Yikes. I would only run that much if I was being chased. Yeah, no worries, Castev. Have a good one. We'll see you again soon. Yeah, today's not going to be like the longest stream anyway, so you're not missing out on that. Tomorrow we should be able to do a nice full-length awesome stream. The race is in Leadville. You're going to check out Breckenridge tomorrow? Nice. Yeah, sounds great. All right, so yeah, we'll publish that. We'll see what social media has to say about it. It's about time I should probably start hyping up Messijo a bit. But what do y'all think? If we wanted to make this a button that changed that, what is the ARIA thing that we have to do, right? If Todd were here, he'd know. Ooh, I don't think I like the last one because it requires a second click. I'm not sure why it requires a second click when you like just focus something else. Oh, it actually seems to be hit or miss. Well, now I can't make it require a second click. So the plot thickens. What is ARIA? ARIA is, oh, I forget what it stands for, but it's basically how you make things accessible, right? As this button, visually, we can see that there's a checked and an unchecked state, but we don't see, like, if we were to tab to it and use a screen reader, we don't necessarily see whether it's checked or unchecked because it's not a checkbox. Checkboxes do that. These switches are checkboxes under the hood, so they do that. But this button is kind of just an approximation of a checkbox. But I believe with an ARIA Live or an ARIA label or something, we could announce to a screen reader that the value changes. it is more work to do it that way. So I'm also thinking like, we should use something a little more accessible, but I don't know. Yeah, what do y'all think? Any preferences? Let's see what Twitter's saying already. No replies yet. Oh, it's weird that the mouse is not in the right place. It looks like a smiley face inside of the button. It just looks like a robot smile emoji. What do they call that? Pareidolia or whatever? When you see a face where there isn't one? Pareidolia. That's it. Yeah, here's some really good examples. The angry one versus the not angry one. Even though they're the same, one looks way angrier. Oh, that's actually funny. This one's actually the best. That one's really good. Yeah, that's actually funny to me. But yeah, like the more I look at this icon, the more I'm getting pareidolia from looking at it. I don't know. Anyone got a preference? Bueller? Bueller? Okay, you prefer the Switch? Sure. I think that's good feedback. I can see that. I probably need to make the checkbox or the check itself black, right? No, there's no constraints. It's just a match. What you're seeing here also is that we're going to have more than one field, right? For a compound keyword, you could have up to 3 of these, right? So the fact that you're seeing 3 of them isn't actually that far off of the result. So if we were going to have constraints, we'd probably put it above, maybe off to the side or something. Yeah, I don't know. Hmm. Change the placeholder of the input? Mm. Number one, we don't even have a placeholder. Realistically, in the tooltip, I would probably have like a learn more button that like just fully explains it over in the help center or something. Hmm. Yeah, if Todd were here, he'd have an opinion too. I'm pretty sure he'd say either one of these two. So yeah, all right. I think it was worth an experiment just to see. We're gonna get rid of that. I think I like the switch more. So yeah, let's get rid of this one. And this one. All right, so one thing I ended up doing was making the border thinner. Let me put it back. Now, yeah, once it gets that small, we just got to leave it. I think it's fine. We could always fiddle with the values of the border and some of the sizing a little bit more later. But I like the relation of this sizing to this sizing. So I think that's fine. Yeah, I think it looks okay. I think I want to make the background of this white as well. Oh, I actually made it BG transparent instead of white. Nah, it's fine. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so yeah, we've at least got that crunched up a bit. Yeah, the talk was yesterday. It was good. So now the next bit is where do we want to put the button to add another keyword part? Probably just goes below. Have the second keyword input show up after you've interacted with the first. So then maybe I need like an info bubble next to it saying that there's a maximum of 3. And here's what I'm thinking next, right? This could be add ignored user, and it's a button right here instead of the no ignored users thing. I think I like the idea of a button for the keywords too. Right, so if we do add ignored user, next tab, how you doing? What are you up to? Oh, and I wasn't even following you. Yeah, so what were you up to on your stream? I do not speak German. Something about a landing page. I'm guessing you made like a slider for your like hero image for like portfolio stuff. I don't know. I don't speak German, so I'm just guessing. But you're doing some WordPress. Cool. Yeah. Do you want to show us the site or anything? Up to you. You don't have to. And yeah, I did a lot of WordPress back in the day. Worked on a plugin. Oh, even better. Okay. So you have a custom post type events, and you built a solution so you could see several events in a slider. Ah, okay. So the plugin is like an event management plugin. Very cool. Okay. Nifty. Yeah, plugin development's always so fun. You can save style templates so you, to make it easier to look good on the front end too. Like, yeah, that's awesome. That sounds really cool. Oh, I get it. So the plugin is for any custom post type. Got it. And then in the plugin, you configure maybe like what fields go where. Oh, and 1 second. There you go. No, you can do the link now. I can still see it, so up to you if you want to repost it, but I can grab it anyway. Probably zoomed in a little too much for you. Is this the slider? Or is it further? That's it? Cool. Nice. I like how you got the mouse gesture support. Clean. Oh, got it. Oh, so you got a templating engine instead of just like doing the mapping. Very fun. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, very smart making it work with any custom post type. That's cool. I almost feel like, if you're open to the feedback, the animation of like locking into place, I feel like that could be a little quicker. But it's not a big deal. Do whatever you want. I can understand how it takes some time after letting go. That's fine. I'm just letting you know. Like, I feel like it should be able to detect being stop dragged a little quicker. Oh, that wasn't bad. And then, yeah, just like being able to snap into place a little quicker. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. See what your users actually say. But yeah, very cool. Very nicely done. For everyone joining from the raid, the thing I'm working on is this app called Messijo. And it's actually live, even though the marketing site is out of date. You can sign up for it, but you do it through the login register button up here, not the one on the pricing page. And the free tier is probably all you want to do right now, but this is the pricing too. So if you were to go log in register, right, I'm already logged in. You know, I could then create some keywords, such as, I don't know, Messijo itself. Shit. I've got a bug. I've always got bugs. Oh. So hold on. Network. Yeah, so this is actually due to something I just shipped up recently. Yeah, so schema validation's getting us. Ugh. All right. But yeah, middle of the night. Yeah, get some sleep. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I gave you a follow, so I'll be able to check it out sometime. Thank you for the follow as well. Appreciate that. And yeah, enjoy your night. Welcome everyone else from the raid. So basically, the idea is when someone mentions a keyword that you're listening for, we can notify you via a bunch of these like notification types. Right now, it's just email. Slack is technically enabled, but not on this billing tier, which I think I need to show in some way. And then other notification types like Microsoft Teams or Discord or things like that are things that we want to add a little bit later. So it's still very early. We got a lot of bugs. But we're currently in the process of doing compound keywords. Compound keywords are basically, we're looking at adding a button that's going to say add keyword or whatever. Yeah, add keyword. Right, so simple, we won't show that. Compound, we will. Add ignored user here. Yep, that's going to need some space. Right, so you could add people to ignore. Do we have a limit to that? We don't. We definitely should. But yeah, so we're thinking about where the button for ignoring, or not ignoring, adding another keyword should go, and we're just going to put it in the middle there. So let's do a similar thing. We only want to do this if let me get more music going here in a second. So then instead of add ignored user, this is add keyword. I think we don't need any of that. Yep. So yeah, we got to change what it does. So yeah, the on click here is no good. Yeah, how do we feel about that though? So then once it gets to maybe 4 or 5, we disable it. 3, if it's 3 or greater. And we haven't even started really figuring out how we want that form to work. Hmm. Let me get music going first. Oh, and I just realized the music's been loud all day. Sorry. Yeah, sorry everyone. Music's been a little too loud compared to my voice all day. Oops. And what's up, Bingo? How you doing? So yeah, the biggest part now is we need to start thinking about how the form is going to work. So we get our form data basically into this keyword schema, or the form schema here. I'm not sure about that part. We'll leave it just in case. So I think refine or super refine might be what we end up wanting. Yeah, so we probably want super refine. Okay. And what's up, Jamal? Yeah, how you doing? Oh, where the hell does when come from? It's part of the object that you pass to refine. How's Zod 4 looking? Um, it seems fine. I don't actually know what the difference is. Yeah, let me look up refine real quick. Oh, so refine would actually go in here, right? It would just be after this part. Hmm. Okay, so we can do that. Yeah, I mean, so we have to do it for custom validation logic. So what we're dealing with right now is a polymorphic data type. If it's simple, then it's just going to have value and whole word at the top. If it's compound, then those values are actually going to be part of parts. So we want to check this right here, and then we could theoretically do this. And yeah, I don't actually know which version of Zod I'm on. I'm pretty sure Refine ends up working the same. Like, I don't know what the breaking changes were going from Zod 3 to 4. Yeah, it looks like I'm still on 3. Hmm. And honestly, yeah, that Boolean would have been fine. Yeah, so we do this. Still not the fix, because what we need to do. All right, so when we're toggling here, this is what we want to do for this part. So when the value is changing... Oh, and this is... Hold on. This is actually just value. If the value is changing to compound... So we spread that. And we want to set... Oh. Yeah, we want to set the first value to whatever was in the keyword field. Yeah, so then new parts 0 is equal to form dot get values value. All right, so then we end up doing that. If we're switching back to simple, okay, so then, yeah, switching back between those, we should be setting them on either thing. So then the part where we have the input field, yeah, this right here, this form field, and then this form field. All right, so we got that one. This one... I think this one we end up having to wire up in a much uglier way. So we do form.control, but name value doesn't seem right. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's getting really, really complicated. Oh, and this one should be simple. So then, yeah, we've just got the one or the other. We should definitely have a little like info bubble icon next to compound here, just in case. Maybe. Yeah, so the part that we're running into here is that React hook form isn't going to know anything about it. Yeah, it's definitely going to get more and more complicated, but whatever. I think it's necessary. So then when we get into compound here, let me look this up. Use field array. Yeah, there'd be a lot of duplication though. Like we'd be duplicating the ignored users part, which is fine. Like technically ignored users is outside of the form anyway. That could be the better option. I just feel like it's going to get complicated. Like it's going to be more complicated than that eventually anyway. But maybe not. No, I think you're onto something there. Two different forms, two different schemas. Then it's a lot easier. I think we still end up needing to do field array though. Because it needs to be dynamic. Hmm. Pour some more water. Trying out a new water jug too. It's not bad. Someone reached out over here. I know, nice shiny jug. Exactly. All right, so if we did the separate form, it ends up being simpler at the creation side of things. I think for editing, it becomes simpler too. Submitting the form becomes simpler. We just use the state value there and decide. It means that type would be outside of the form, and that's okay. Doesn't have to one-to-one map to the object. Yes, well, what we'll want to do, I want to actually, yeah, we got that bit. That was the one thing I was thinking would be really nice. So, like, if I have this here, and then I go and do this, I want it to, like, proxy it over, right? So even if they were separate forms, I'd still have to do the thing where I, like, populate one versus the other as we change this part. It's easy enough. Like, I just change the way that I'm doing that. Not a big deal. I don't know if it actually becomes simpler. I think it ends up being about the same. Right? As long as they stay wired up, I think we're good. Oh, so maybe this is the other step. For the first one, I wouldn't even need to change this stuff. And it would reduce a little bit of duplication if the top level value and is whole word are just always there, right? So then if it's compound, it's just the first word, right? So then you just have extra parts, you know? Yeah, exactly. But we wouldn't even need to do that if we're just using the same exact field for it. I think that's the move. Yeah, I think that's the move. So no matter what keyword or like the first value in a keyword, it's just the first, and then the rest could be added to it with that button. I think that means we end up having to change some stuff on the back end with how we scaffolded things. I think more than anything, it starts to deal with how we do our validation instead. Now, I think we would still need the toggle, but all that would do is show hide the keyword button. No, 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 no. So we would, no, it's actually the opposite. It would be value and is whole word are the first one, and then as we add to it, that would actually populate into the parts array. So instead of just parts, it's maybe like extra parts. Because no matter what, you have to have at least one part, you know? Yeah. And then if a user makes a compound keyword versus a simple keyword, but then, you know, it's compound, but they only added one value, does it matter? I don't think it impacts how we do our querying there. So it wouldn't actually be invalid to submit a compound keyword without any extra parts. That'd be fine. Hmm. No matter what, we have to do like some magic validation logic. Yeah, no, I think it simplifies some stuff. So here's what we're going to do. I don't think type needs to be done like that. Right? We have to validate that on the back end, but I don't know if we need front end validation for that. All right, this is always required. I think we end up still needing the field array for parts here, which isn't the end of the world. But yeah, instead of form data and all this, yeah, that goes away. All right, so it already simplifies things a bit. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the best feelings in the world. Yeah, okay. So I like this a bit more. But yeah, our validation then gets weird. So that's a back-end concern. So create keyword params, update keyword params. I think those stay the same, so it's just keyword params. And what's up, Quartz? How you doing? Nope, that was the wrong thing. Open API generator stuff. So this is in my code. So basically, I define my params here in code, and then before each endpoint, I define my operation stuff here. So I think technically it's code first. Technically, none of this stuff makes it into my Open API spec unless I have the endpoint as part of my router. So I'm using a thing called OpenAPI specs in Elixir. Yeah, I mean, I think code first. Yeah. Like basically, I'm writing the code and I'm generating the spec from annotations in the code. Whereas the other way would be you use a schema and then you generate the endpoints from the schema. To me, that seems like the wrong way to go. Too much like code generation in that way. And Quartz. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's been a while. It's only been a few months. It's been like 6 months. It's not that long. Yeah, exactly. Like at the server side, I could see it being good for a client, but to generate server code doesn't make any sense to me. Orville. I'm not familiar with Orville. Oh, hold on. Hmm. Oh, so it's only TypeScript though. Got it. Yeah, that's less of what I need. What am I using for my API generation? Let me double check that. Hey API. Now, it looks like this one's also just JavaScript, TypeScript. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, so Orville versus this one, about the same. I'm not sure it would be any different. I've used Open API Generator in the past, and it's not perfect, but you know, it at least gives people types in other languages. I feel like some of the types that it generated though were really not good. I don't remember. It's been a while. And then, okay, so Quartz. Client asks you to build a website in 2 weeks. I mean, that's up to you, but look at it this way. How many hours is the project going to take you? Are you okay with that hourly rate? Now, we're talking specifically from OpenAPI, Messijo. So OpenAPI is for describing REST APIs, basically. If you've ever heard the name Swagger, Swagger is the old name for OpenAPI. And hold on, let me double check this. What's traffic going to be like getting into Seattle? Um, what's today's date? 14th? What? Looks like this one finished up already because it's East Coast? Oh, I see, I see. So that must have been over at Baltimore. Oh, yep, yep, I see. At Baltimore. So yeah. All right. So that shouldn't be why traffic was so bad last night. That would be a fun app, right? Like, why is traffic so bad today? The Revive i5, Hazmat. Uh, yeah. So there's some way to check this. Will traffic be bad going to Seattle? Oof. Oh, dude. Ugh. Yeah, that might be something. Dude, an hour to get into Seattle. What if I go this way? An hour and 5 minutes to get into Seattle. If I go around, no, there is no other way. We'll see if it gets any better in an hour. Ugh, I know, right? Or just like a ferry I could take. I'm sure the ferry would end up taking longer anyway, though. Let me get more music going, though. There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't have any oxen I can stand to lose. So, yeah, that's not an option for me. All right. Yeah, these are great beats for sure. Yeah, I think I will need to do the field array thing. Yeah, I'm taking my sweet time because, yeah, we got to get this part working on the back end first. First and foremost. And then we can get proper types in the front end and we're good. You were dealing with a React hook form and yup issue this week. Interesting. I'm curious why you're using yup instead of Zod or something more type safe. Because I feel like yup doesn't give you any type safety validation. Well, I mean it does, but definitely not at like the same level. Maybe that's fine. Like you don't end up needing infer when you're just doing form validation. That's really what yup was made for, form validation. So that's a good point. Yeah, totally different problem set. Whereas Zod is like validation everywhere. Casting, like all sorts of stuff. And maybe just an older project. Yeah, the lo-fi soothes these component spirits. Yeah, damn right. Your problem was with dependencies? Okay. Oh yeah, they were way before it, right? Yes, they were from before TypeScript even existed. Yeah, yup was the one for happy, which was a like an Express competitor. Pretty sure. Maybe I have that backwards. Uh was it Joy? It was Joy. Good catch. I had him backwards. Yeah, great catch. So yeah, these existed before TypeScript. Yeah, I feel like there were some other ones back in the day that I used too, but I don't remember what they were. There was like Validate JS. Yep, this is one of the oldest ones. Still 570,000 weekly downloads. That's crazy. Dude, it hasn't been touched since 6 years ago. So yeah, validate JS, validate. I don't remember what the most common one I'm thinking of was. Mm, yeah, I have no idea. That's fine. You know, that happens. I would say these days it's worth checking out Zod. I think Zod's really cool just because, like, I don't know. I know the dude, Colin. He's super cool. 39 million weekly downloads. So it's pretty big time. There's a new one called Valibot, which is also worth checking out. 1 million weekly downloads. So, yeah, probably can't go wrong with either. I think they both aim to do very similar things. Um, All right, so maybe it's more tree shakeable. That could be a good reason. And yeah, he mentions he's a big fan of Colin too, which is awesome. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. All right, let's keep going. So yeah, what we need to do is we got compound keyword params. This is just keyword params. Yeah, I forget what the difference between Zod Mini and Zod is. Like, probably smaller, but I forget how and why. But okay, so our keyword params are there. But you know what? I need create and update keyword params because some things are not allowed to be updated. Yeah, we still needed create and update. Comma separated list now because we have that toggleable field. So yeah, comma separated just won't work. All right, this little bit. So yeah, you can't really edit type. You can edit whole word. Thank you. Ignored users can totally be updated. It's fine. Like, I've done Elixir for a while. The Primogen has this odd habit of picking up languages way after I've picked them up. Just being facetious. Like, you know, it's not like I own any of that shit. But yeah, I did Rust before Prime did it. Just saying. I did Go before Prime did it. So basically, if that Simpsons did it joke were adapted, CM Griffin did it. But here's the thing. Prime's a better programmer than me. So he's, even if I did it before him, he goes deeper, right? Because I care more about just building and shipping than I do about writing perfect code. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I did Laravel back when it was first released. I did Symfony stuff and I did some Laravel stuff back in like 20. The Symfony stuff must have been like 2013. The Laravel stuff must have been probably like 2015. Yeah, they're all fine. The goal with something like Laravel is less about the language you're using and more about the productivity gains of having this full-featured framework. That's the most important part. It could be Rails, it could be Laravel, it could be Elixir's Phoenix, it could be basically anything. The goal is get something so you can ship instead of reinventing the wheel, which there isn't really a Go version of what we're doing because the standard library does so much of it, but it still doesn't do like all the stuff I need. So you got to do a lot of like piecemeal stuff in Go because Go developers in general don't like big frameworks. I think there is a slightly bigger one, Fiber, which might do some of the Laravel-like stuff. But it's still like more bare bones comparatively. Which is sometimes really just what you're looking for anyway. Yeah, exactly. That's why companies still use Ruby on Rails. Doesn't matter if Ruby's slow. Being able to ship something quickly, that's important. All right, so update keyword params. Yep. What I need to do, though, is, list keywords response. Keyword response there, but then we got simple keyword response. And complex keyword response, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like keyword part response just doesn't make any sense to me. We might leave keyword part response, actually. But keyword response, gone. Right, because we're going to rename one of the responses back to that. So I think simple can just go away. And yeah, really, keyword part response, nah, I don't think we need it. Like, are we even using it anywhere? See it up there. We do mention it there. Yeah, I think it's fine. Just going to change up the order. All right, 1 second. I just saw a message. So you think the dream of the single language on the back end and front end is a bit of a trap. It seems great, but in practice, the tools are not there, or you're integrating all sorts of systems and third-party services. Your mild opinion. Nope, I completely agree. So consider the way Netflix works. They have like one giant canonical REST API that has zero concerns with any rendering whatsoever, other than like, unless you consider JSON templating rendering, right? Or spitting out JSON. And then they have the back end for front end approach, where you might use something like a Next.js to make your front end's API calls simpler, while still not having to actually touch or change the canonical REST API. The value to that is, number one, your canonical REST API is absolutely as performant as possible, and it's only doing data retrieval from your database, etc., so that other things can consume it. Right? Just, it makes a whole shitload of sense. Now, I personally also just, with what I build, I typically never even need the back end for front end approach because I'm not building that many different layers to this. So I'll just do a single page application for the dashboard if it's login gated, and I'll do some static site generation with Astro, and then boom. Right? Like I don't see a need for server side rendering of any of these projects. Every once in a while I'll do it just because it's convenient. Like for a very, very small project, but for anything like what I'm building right now, nah. I don't want my back end rendering anything. There's a small caveat to maybe sending emails. Sure. I don't mind sending emails. That part's fine. All right, so let's finish up this part here. Keyword part response, and this is then just keyword response. What we end up needing is, yep, we got type, value, yes, 100%. Yeah, I think Livewire, Next.js, Hotwire, LiveView. I'd say Next.js I tolerate more. But the problem is then if you're doing Next.js, but your like core canonical REST API is Next.js API endpoints, that shit's really slow. Like that's just a bad idea. If you're going to be serving up API endpoints to other services, right? Bad idea. Don't do that. Cal.com did that a while back. It meant that they were running like 3 Next.js applications to run like the whole suite locally, which meant you're consuming like 8 gigs of RAM. Like just for your website. Like it was bullshit. I think they did Next.js for their docs site, which doesn't make any sense. But you know what? They were able to ship and get launched, and then they could fix it later, which they did. All right, so we're going to have an error up here. Because that doesn't exist. No, not because of Node, because Next.js just does too much. Node.js can be totally fine. Node.js can be like small and clean and fast, and the amount of RAM you're consuming doesn't matter that much. Like Express is fine. Pretty much any dedicated proper JavaScript server framework does just fine. No, it's not about that. It's because of all the extra stuff that Next.js does. It's not meant to be a REST API. I don't know, Paco. Kind of a weird thing to just jump into chat with, especially with a fairly new account. Seems like you're just trying to drum up some controversy. That's fine. I'd like to avoid the drama if we can. I don't know the dude personally. I think some of the other stuff out there is questionable, but I don't know. Doesn't matter here. I think his take on the stop killing games thing was a really bad take. I'll admit to that. But yeah, any of the other shit, I don't know. Not for this stream. And what's up? Okay, so you wrote an angry email to Steam for not giving you a full refund for a game that didn't work right. They gave you the refund in the end. They typically do. Yeah, they're pretty good about it. They'd rather do that than deal with a chargeback, you know? But you don't typically want to do a chargeback unless you're willing to get banned from a platform. Chargeback, ban forward. There you go. Yeah. Okay, so we were able to rebuild our SDK, and that simplified a bunch of our code. Nice. Oh, hold on. I got a work message I should check out. Okay, sorry. You did your update today. Oh, hold on, I missed it. AI chat is nearly done with its first phase. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Just about finishing up a V2 of a mapping feature for a client, and while it was frustrating, it took a while. You were able to remove a lot of parts. Complexity code should be much more maintainable going forward. You don't feel stressed about building on top of it. Yeah, mapping can get really tricky. All right, so then field on change. Yeah, I don't think we need to do that anymore. Yeah, and then here it's just set keyword type value. The one thing you hate about big tech companies is the deployment speed. Yeah. Yeah, that stuff takes forever. Am I self-taught? It depends. I think every programmer becomes self-taught at some point anyway. I do have a 2-year degree from a community college. They just say college now. They drop the community part, which is interesting. But I was programming before that a bit too. I didn't know how to do a for loop, like how to write one myself by hand before that. I had copied and pasted some Flash stuff 10 years before that. It, like, no matter what, everyone becomes self taught in some way at some point because no school is going to give you everything anyway. Right? Like, no matter what, at some point you become self taught. So whether you started before or after school, it doesn't really matter. Everyone's self taught. Or they're unemployed. Boom, roasted. No, lithium, like from what I've heard, even at Stanford, they're not teaching you every little thing. Like, nah, you're still expected to actually like do the major work yourself. I'm pretty sure you took some Stanford courses online. Yeah, even then, how much do they actually like dig into that stuff? And how much is that part of like the standard curriculum? Like, I just really can't picture Stanford being up to date with the latest in React or whatever, you know? I could be wrong. Oh, hold on. I need to register for a Luma thing. Yeah, machine learning, Linux kernel development, sure, right? But they're all like, they're very surface level. You're not going to get all the knowledge you need to be a core Linux kernel dev, yeah? You know? Like, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at lithium. Like, no matter what, to be employable in the field, you have to learn after school still. Even if you go to Stanford, you still got to put in work after school. For the majority of like web dev and programming in general. If you're just focused on machine learning, maybe, but I bet even then that stuff gets out of date way quicker than they update the curriculum. Yeah, exactly. Yep. If anything, a college degree is just something that says this person's willing to see something through. And that does mean a lot. Yeah, learning how to learn is another thing that schools are great for. But they're not vocational schools. They're not there to teach you every single thing you need to be productive in the job. That's just not what they do. And that's fine once you recognize that. Let me get more music going. Yeah, maybe, Mateus, but some people are really good at holding their breath. Yeah, no worries, Lithium. Hope you get it fixed. Yep. It's all about asking the TA for answers. Ooh, there you go. Lightspeed. Doing some of that social engineering. All right, so this button, that is something that we want to do that way. Technically, this is going to be keyword type. Wait. Hold on. Lightspeed. The asking the TA thing? Oh, I'm sorry if that hurts, man. Like, yeah, I didn't mean any offense. All right, so then this part. Yeah, this is where we need to do the field array thing. All right, so then it's after form here. You're gonna try using Zod? Yeah, yeah, no worries. I think it's really cool. I think you'll like it. It's definitely, it's really interesting some of the tooling built around it as well. So in the past, I've used like Zod to JSON schema to do some stuff, right? To like generate some open API spec stuff. Like it's really cool. Some of the tooling that's been built around Zod. No, the field array is fine. Yeah, yeah. No, I think it'll be fine. I don't like the whole like destructuring that, but yeah, here we're just registering a sub thing. Yeah, I see no problem with that. So yeah, the way we end up doing this is where we do this compound part. This then becomes something like that. Wait. Ah, yeah, it's right after this part. I need an extra paren. Hey, Dan Can Code. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. Extra keyword? I don't know. We'll see. So then, yeah, as we do this, we got part and index. I think I like the idea of field and index. I see. So yeah, register. That's form.register. Mm, so we'll do field.id. Sure. Oh, you got to head out? Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I should probably get going here. I don't know. I got a little bit of time still. I want to get this form at least validating. We don't necessarily need to make it like submittable to the back end. But yeah, Mateus, thank you for the sub as well. Appreciate you. Wonder if we can do this. Yeah, looks like we can. So then this would probably be something like partsform.append. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So yeah. And then each individually doable. We're not really wiring up to that in here though. So yeah, the on change of the check of this switch mini. I also feel like on change here is not what I want. And yeah, here set value is whole word. This is where this part's wrong. So this would be field dot value. No? Oh. Hmm. Hmm. I wonder if we can pass type information to use field array. So wait, no, that should work. Huh. So use field array seems to only work with strings. She's not impressed with my debugging skills. That's fine. I could always be better. Hopefully they don't make her cry. Nah, that's fine. No worries. She has high standards. I totally get it. But yeah, how you doing, Jamin? What you been up to? Just work and working on your game and all the summer family stuff. Nice. Yeah, I saw your post about how you've been enjoying the game. Like you played it just on your own for like an hour. Like that's cool. Yeah, that's a good feeling. Yeah, I think once you get some like story or like objectives or something, like man, yeah, you got something really cool on your hands. So, hold on. Etymologist, you passed a behavioral interview with a co-founder for a tech startup, and you have the technical interview with the CTO next week. It's for a C# dev, and they know you never use the language. Do I have any advice for you? Start building some C#. Is it like, I'm guessing it's a back-end role, like REST API style? I'd rebuild some REST API that you've built in the past and do it yourself. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say like start from scratch, but take some of the REST APIs you built and rebuild one with C#. The reason you want to do that is because you don't want to concentrate on like what you need to do. All you want to figure out is how you need to do it, right? So if you build something from scratch, you're going to spend a lot more time figuring out what you need to do and why, rather than just the how. So you can speed up your ability to learn a new language by figuring out the how and only concentrating on the how of something you've already done. Pretty sure the Primogen does something similar. He really likes to re-implement like TCP and things like that. I forget what his favorite like re-implementation is, but yeah, he tends to have something that he has already built before in other languages, and then he sees how he can build it in a new one. And that's how I've done every language I've ever learned, besides TypeScript and PHP. Sure. Yeah, and that's a good way to get like a handle on like the language itself. I like building REST APIs because it also gives you a handle on like languages, or not languages, but like the ecosystems. So like what libraries are available, what frameworks, and some of that stuff. So there's still a bit of like the what in figuring out what libraries you got to use, but then helps you like analyze the language too. So yeah, you learned TCL and you made a WebSocket server. Fun. This really does feel like it should be working as an object. All right, let's do this. Yeah, go for it. That's fine. You know, I get shit done on my own time. Stuff done. Sorry. I don't want to be a bad influence. It is dot value there. Hmm. What's up, K Tempest? How you doing? The font, it's my own. It's basically just Comic Sans, but we added our own ligatures. I know, 9 months old, have her swearing like a sailor in no time flat. Yeah, I should be a little better about that. You feel stuck working with legacy code most of the time. It seems you've fallen into a cycle of work, home, and bed. You're also full stack, so it feels like you haven't delved deeply into either front or back end. Too much of a generalist. Don't even know what advice to ask for. Just trying to vent. That's fine. I get that. The key is build side projects. You know? And yeah, even though you have a job right now, nothing prevents you from interviewing elsewhere. Better work-life balance, better, more interesting projects to work on. Those are always good reasons to try and find another job. But yeah, like, you know, work on side projects. Do not quit a job until you have another one lined up if you can avoid it, because it's rough out there. But yeah, I think it's possible to find a better work-life balance that doesn't make you so sad. Find newer projects you can work on, all that stuff. It's definitely a thing. I mean, they were pretty straightforward about it, right? They're working with legacy code. They want to work with newer code. One thing to remember is code becomes legacy code very quickly. Greenfield goes to brownfield within months. But yeah, I'd say start on some projects that dive deep into whatever you want to learn. It's my recommendation. We are getting to the point where I should probably be wrapping up. We got really close. I got to figure out why we can't do the nested objects thing for these keywords, though. And let me just do this. Where am I printing that value? JSON stringify doesn't actually print undefined. Oh, interesting. So yeah, it's accurate. Field is not the object we were looking for. That's where we want to leave off on this. Leaving off. And yeah, I'll catch back up on chat before we go. It seems that use field array only has string values in the fields array. We need objects. Take it easy. It's not psychopathic. I'm just staring into your soul. That's a big difference. But yeah, you've been procrastinating. Don't worry, I haven't even begun to procrastinate yet. You got an interview this week and you weren't even looking? That's a good sign. That's awesome. I think you got it. But yeah, I look right at the screen because I got my chat, like normally when the messages aren't too long, right there in front of me. So yeah, I think that's one of the things I do different than a bunch of streamers. When I'm reading chat, it's like good eye contact. I don't think many streamers in this category actually have a teleprompter like I do. So I'm unique. But yeah, so I do have this event in Seattle. It's already started. It's a Blue Sky and Expo event. So Jamin, I might see some people you know. Because yeah, Expo is like help putting on this React Native Blue Sky event. So it should be fun. And they were the people that even invited me in the first place. Let me try and remember the guy's name. Oh, oh. I don't remember. Just didn't work out. Yeah. Yeah, should be a fun event though. Aman Matal, Aman Matal is the person I know that works there, but another person is the one that sent me the message, and now I don't remember how to find it in Dan Kelly. Yeah, Dan Kelly. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if Amon's going to be there or not. I feel like he's not based out of the area. But yeah, Dan Kelly should be there. Yeah, he was the one that originally invited me, and then Amon we know from stream, which is great. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna get to chat with them at the event, and it's at a really cool space too, so I'm looking forward to it. But I need to get going. We're gonna go raid someone. I think Theo's still going, right? It's been a while since I've had a chance to raid him. So let's go do that. Yeah. So yeah, sorry everyone for a short stream today. Tomorrow I can go much later. I don't have any plans tomorrow night, so we'll do a nice long stream tomorrow. And yeah, we haven't had a chance to raid Theo in quite a while, so I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, I like to share and give back. And yeah, thank you everyone for hanging out. We had a great day today. Like the UI for this, like figuring out this button or this toggle, that was fun. We got like a slight issue with making this part work, but compound keywords, we're close. We're really close. There's going to be some back-end logic to fix for actually like checking for the keywords in the Firehose. But yeah, that'll be fun. Tomorrow you're going to open a beer and watch? Yeah, I'll have some whiskey, so I think you'll be in good company. And yeah, Theo may be in the middle of recording a video. We'll see. He may have a chance to respond or not. But either way, let's go say hi to him. I'm going to say farewell to people on YouTube first real quick. So YouTube, have a great rest of your night. I will see you tomorrow.